Welcome to Beyond the Chutes, is presented by Parasite Systems. I'm your host, Doug Simcox, and I hope that you're having a great day, staying safe, and enjoying the spring weather. Now, if you are driving, please keep both hands on the wheel as you listen to this podcast. Eyes up. We got to be safe, for goodness sakes. Hands-free listening. Now, today I'm writing for the brand BTC, and I'm recording in Taylorsville, Kentucky, a beautiful, cool, sunny spring morning. And joining me on the phone today is Thomas Wodrich, a.k.a. Tom Woods, International Professional Rodeo Association photographer, winner of 3 IPRA Gold Buckles for Photographer of the Year. Welcome, Tom, to BTC.
Hey, Doug, how you doing?
I am doing good. I'm very excited you're on the show with us today. I've been looking forward to this for a while.
Yeah, me too.
Thomas Wodrich is your name. However, on Facebook, you are known as Tom Woods.
Correct.
Okay. And to our listeners, you got to check out his Facebook page, Google Tom Woods. He has got so many incredible pictures that he has put up. Historic pictures dating back into 75, 76, you name it. So as we get started here this morning, Tom, talk a little bit about where you grew up and where you're from.
Well, I grew up on the northwest side of Chicago. That's about it. I was there most of my life until I was about 57, and then we moved down to Florida. But I spent all my years in Chicago. I love Chicago. It was a great city to grow up in, especially in the time that I grew up. Things weren't like they are today, but it was just a lot of fun. Just a lot of fun to be there.
And in the city proper, you weren't out on a farm. You weren't out in the country. You grew up in the city.
Yeah.
Okay. So then...
We had some barns. I used to go riding at barns. We had barns out not too far from my house. We could jump on the bus and get out there. And we used to go up in Michigan. My family had property up in Michigan on a little lake, and there was a farmer out there. I used to hang out with him and bale hay and do all kinds of stuff. But that's where I got my country life from.
I was going to say, and so you got to do some horseback riding and spend some time out on the farm. And is that what pointed you at rodeo? How did the horses? How did you find rodeo?
Well, it was strange. I had a friend of mine who used to ride motorcycles together. In fact, his name was Joe Pagone. He owned a bar in my old neighborhood. And I knew him for years. In fact, he stood up for my wedding and ended up marrying my wife's sister. And so we were actually brother-in-laws for a while. But he came to me one night and he says, Tom, he said, I got a friend of mine's going to be in a rodeo. You think you could take? He knew I was a photographer. And he wanted me to take pictures of him. I said, sure. So I went out and rented a bunch of fancy equipment. But the first night we didn't get anything. It got rained out. And that's about how it started.
So you went to, now what kind of photography were you doing at the time, Tom?
Well, I've been doing all kinds of photography. I was a wedding photographer. I worked for a movie studio. We did weddings. I did candid weddings, still photography. And from the time I was about 16, I had a camera with me all the time. Okay. And I was mainly a people person. I like to take pictures of my friends, and mostly people doing things. So that kind of came out in my rodeo photography also.
It certainly does, Tom. And to that, checking out your Facebook page, Tom Woods, of course, a lot of pictures of cowboys sitting in their vans and groups of cowboys going down the road, not just arena pictures, and that's the thing that's really, really impressed me. Number one, great pictures in the arena, for sure. Great pictures. Yep. And you've got great descriptions of every one of them. So, and I notice on a picture, I'm looking at one here of Mike Duplessis, at an Illinois rodeo in 1976 on your page, and the first there's a set of numbers 10-53. What?
Yeah.
What? Yeah, that's your catalog number.
Yeah. The 10 is the 10th. It's the 10th rodeo I ever went to.
Oh, really? Okay.
Once I started, I had more than that, but when I first started out, that first year, I think it was in the fall already. The first rodeo I went to was St. Charles, Illinois. And then we did one in Glenview, Illinois.
Mhm.
And then the last one was in, oh God, I can't remember now. Anyways, that winter, they had some little open rodeos in Bass Lake, Indiana. So I went and shot those, and I ran into a thoroughleading stock contractor there. And he told me, he said, if you come to my rodeos, he said, I'll buy all the pictures that you take.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that kind of, because I wasn't going to do it for a living.
Yeah.
I never thought I was going to do it for a living. It was just a weekend thing, something to do.
Yeah. So what year you got invited to do a rodeo? It rained out, your very first one, but then you went to three more, it sounds like.
Yeah, that was 76.
1976.
76, yeah, at the end of the year, right around August, September. And then we did some rodeos at Bass Lake in the winter. And then in the spring, I cracked out again. And I started with the mid-states rodeos.
Sure.
In fact, Thurl Lanning leased some of his stock to King Rodeo Company, and they were with the Mid-States Rodeo Association.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So those were the first ones I went to.
And
I
how
think that's where my numbering system started.
I see.
So
So
when
the 10th
you see a
rodeo.
rodeo with the first two numbers is how many rodeos I've been to.
Okay.
That's the number of that rodeo. If it was 10, that's the 10th rodeo I shot.
Okay.
If it's 200, that's the 200th rodeo I shot.
I see. And the dash 53 in this case, that would be the 53rd shot at that particular rodeo?
Correct.
Okay. So Mr. Ladding said, come take pictures. He'll support you. How did you get in the arena with King Rodeo Company? What's the approach there?
Well, I just went with all the guys, and they let me in,
Okay.
But after a while, I had to join the IRA
Yeah.
if I wanted to be in the arena.
Okay.
So I joined the IRA right away.
Okay.
And I think that kind of let me into the other rodeos also. A lot of guys in the mid-states, they all came over to the IRA.
Right. Right.
All the guys that I shot in the beginning.
So who were you traveling with in those days?
Well, it was just kind of guys from my neighborhood, the guys that I knew.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of them around Chicago that were associated with Joe Pagone, myself, the Martinos, and there were a bunch of them, Ronnie Martin, Tom Moore. And I started traveling with individuals. In 77, I started traveling with Ronnie Martin and Tom Moore. And they took me to my first Pontiac rodeo, which was really a big deal. I had no idea what I was in store for.
Okay. So when you talk about going to Pontiac, you were talking, of course, about the Silverdome.
Yep.
And what year did you go there for the first time?
77.
1977. So really your first year in the IPRA, you get to go shoot in the Silverdome.
Yep.
Were there other photographers there with you?
Yeah, I think there was a guy named Larry Moriarty. He was there too. In fact, he took a picture of me in the arena. I took a couple of him too.
Okay.
He was a tooth doctor. He was a horse tooth doctor.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what they call him, but
yeah,
I got pictures of him floating teeth.
Okay, I have seen that picture, by the way, and I think they're called, equine dentists these days.
Yeah, yeah, very well could be.
So did you like shooting in the Silverdome?
Oh, that was the most magnificent building for shooting pictures. The lighting was real soft. They brought out the colors and everything. There were no harsh shadows. It was just a really beautiful building to shoot in. And there was just enough light where I could get the speeds up, where where I didn't get any blur, you know.
Okay, okay.
That's what you had to do. I wanted to use a fast enough speed so everything wasn't blurred out. But some of my best pictures came from the Pontiac Silverdome,
Okay.
the ones I'm most proud of anyway.
Yeah, and one of the pictures that stood out, it actually got you in 1979, the Photographer of the Year in the IPRA, your first gold buckle, and the caption on your Facebook is "The Crowd Roars." 8 times IRA World Champion saddle bronc rider Gene Maynard of Falcon, Missouri, on number J37 Superstar of the J Bar J Pro Rodeo Company, saddle
Yep.
bronc riding, Longhorn Championship Rodeo in the Silverdome, Pontiac, Michigan, April 1979. And again, IRA Photo of the Year by you, Mr. Woods, the 3-time Photographer of the Year. Tell us about shooting that picture. What do you remember when you saw that? Did you know you had it during the ride? Did you know that?
No,
No,
I
no.
didn't know. I didn't. I never saw pictures until they were processed and I looked at them. I
Okay,
never knew what I had.
okay. Did you
It's a
process your
strange
own?
thing
Go
when
ahead.
you're looking through the camera.
Yeah.
You know, you don't really know what you're getting. You're just shooting it. You know.
Okay, okay. Um, did you do your own processing?
No,
No. So when you
no. I
got
had a
the pictures back, what were your thoughts when you saw the pictures of Gene Maynard?
well. I, there, there were 4 or 5 in that series,
Hmm.
and they were all just as good as that one.
Hmm.
There was one of them where he was a little out of shape, but for the rest of them, they were magnificent. And everybody that sees them said the same thing, you know.
Yeah.
And
And
there were other great pictures I got from there too.
a lot
I
of
got
them.
a great picture of Doyle Stanford on a 100 trailhead that he won. Uh, just a bunch of Ronnie Mark on a Palomino horse. Just great pictures came from there.
Yeah. And in 1979, Photo of the Year, the Gene Maynard made the cover of the Rodeo News, March of 1980. What was that like to get in the mail?
Oh man, that was fantastic. Because I had missed it 3 years in a row, and I thought, God, am I ever going to get this thing or not? You know.
Yeah.
And well, '79 was the year I finally got it,
Yeah.
and I was just happy as a lark.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful picture. And the first of 3 gold belt buckles that started. And
Yeah,
I believe 1979, 80, and 81, that was
yep.
your run for what do you remember your any of the other pictures that got you
You know,
the go ahead.
I can't really remember what they were. I got them here in my. I'd have to look at all my old rodeo news to come up with them, but the first one is always the one you remember. I
Yeah,
think.
you
I don't
bet.
know. I guess it goes like that.
Yeah. And you still have that gold belt buckle?
Oh yeah, it's on the
Okay.
wall
It's on
now.
the wall. Did you wear it while you were out and about shooting?
Yeah, all the time for years.
Okay.
For years I
Excellent.
wore that buckle.
Yeah. And you were chosen as the IFR photographer starting in 1977. And I'm going to go back again to mention to all of our listeners, IFR 7 would have been 1977 would have been the first year you were a member of the International Professional Rodeo Association.
Yep.
Did you get a call and they said, come take
No,
pictures?
no,
No. How
no.
did it go?
Tom and Ronnie Orr took me. They
Okay.
took me to the finals.
They took you to the finals. And while you were
Yeah.
there, you were able to get into the arena and take shots.
No, I couldn't get in the arena. I shot everything from the stands.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. One of
Now
the
I'll tell you another thing.
yeah.
I shot 5 of those, and I never had worse luck in all my life. All 5 of them, I need very few pictures that I get out of any of those IFRs. And I'm really disappointed in myself and the way it went down. But there was one. I think it was. Oh God, I can't remember what year it was. Let's see, might have been IFR 9 that I used my strobe finally and got some decent pictures out of that one.
Okay.
But I still got them in a drawer. I haven't even gotten to them yet.
Really, really. So what did the strobe do? Okay, so we talked about the Silverdome being the perfect place to take pictures. Action, fast action pictures. You could speed up your time and your camera and all that sort of thing. What was challenging about shooting the IFR? And you were in the arena in 1979.
Yeah.
Okay. What was
The
challenging?
lighting was, well, I tried to shoot it in black and white,
Mm-hmm.
and I tried to push the film. In other words, and it just didn't turn out. I was very disappointed because I had shot in black and white before, and they turned out pretty good. But the lighting was so bad in that building. And one year they barely turned any of it on. I think that was the year I brought my strobe with me, and I did much better with my strobe light
Okay.
when I had it.
Okay. And that just gave you enough lighting to be able to pick up
Yeah.
and go.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And we talked about you going down the road. I'm going to come back to this in a minute, to the IFR here in a minute. But how did you make money going down the road? Taking pictures, you weren't developing them on the spot, I should say. So how were you selling pictures? How did this all go?
Yeah, I sold pictures. I was to a point where I sold at least 100 pictures every weekend.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that was, I wasn't making a lot of money, Doug.
Yeah.
None of us were. We were all struggling, really, but we were having fun doing it.
Yeah.
And of course, I drove a truck during the week. So that made up for a lot of it. And I had a good boss, and I could take off whenever I wanted to. So that was a good deal there. But I made money at my photography.
You
I
did.
acquired a lot of fantastic top-of-the-notch equipment.
Okay.
I mainly put my money back into equipment,
Sure.
but I made money doing it. I made, on average, it cost me about 200 a week.
It
to go
cost
to the
you.
rodeo. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. And
that was
that's,
within. I'd shoot about 20 rolls of film.
oh, wow.
The film alone was about $180,
Yeah.
plus my gas.
Yeah. Hotel
And,
rooms.
Well, I didn't stay in the motel too often.
No, where did you stay?
I slept in the back seat of my car.
Are you kidding? Okay. Okay. Serious times. Yeah, no, I get it. $180 of your $200 weekly expense was for the rolls of film.
Yeah, I
Okay.
shoot about 20 of them.
Okay.
So
And
there was a lot of, you got to figure there was a lot of throwaways. And if you look at some of these numbers, they don't go any higher than 100. And I probably shot 360
oh, wow. Oh, wow.
or more pictures on every rodeo.
And every one of them got processed and
Yeah,
got
but
sent to
I-
you. Yeah.
I would say 2/3 of it got thrown away.
2/3 of it got thrown away of all the pictures that you took. Okay.
Yeah.
And have these pictures been converted to digital? I see them up on Facebook, but are these pictures of pictures, Tom? What did you do?
Yeah, I scanned them through a scanner.
Okay.
They're raw slides.
They're
They're all
slides.
colored slides, yeah.
Okay.
And like I
Okay.
say, I got black and white too.
Yeah.
I got some good black and white pictures, though. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
always liked black and white film.
I believe
Black and
that
white,
in 1977, you took a black and white picture of Jim's shoulders at the
yeah,
IFR 7.
yeah.
What do you remember? And what a great picture. He's got his arms crossed. He's looking up. Got a great hat on.
I didn't even know who he was. I knew he was important because there was a lot of people talking to him. And I was like that. I take pictures of all kinds of people, you know.
Yeah.
And I took pictures of him not knowing who he was.
Yeah.
And I actually posted it and asked Sammy, who is this?
Oh, my
They said,
goodness.
it's Jim Shoulders.
Very, very famous cowboy.
Who's
Absolutely.
Jim Shoulders?
Jim Shoulders. Another great picture that stood out, behind the scenes picture. There's one of him on the bulls, but one of him kind of messing around in '79. Bobby Del Vecchio, from the Bronx, New York, I believe. And he was competing.
No, he wasn't. I don't think he was from the Bronx.
Where was he from?
I think he was from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Okay. From
Yeah.
Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah.
Okay. Great picture of him. Did you know of him? Did you have a chance to talk with him?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I talked to him on the phone about 6 months ago.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah,
That is
yeah. I
excellent.
love Bobby. Bobby was great. He was a good kid, man.
Yeah.
Good kid, good looking kid. Yep, pleasant to be around. You know.
Yeah. So
What picture was that you saw?
there was one of him riding bulls, and
Yeah.
then another picture of him kind of knocking around. So if I'm looking for Bobby DeVecchio, here's one at your 115th rodeo, which was, by the way, IFR 9, picture number 325, Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1980. There's a great picture of him on a bull. Then another picture that pops up is rodeo number 69, Bobby Del Vecchio, Mike Waters, Ed Prozier, UK in Detroit, August 30th, 1977. And there's more, and there's more, and there's more. So cool pictures, fun to see these, and thank you so much for putting these out there for the world.
You're welcome.
So you sold, let's get back to the economics of all this. You got $200. I'm a businessman, so I'm always interested in how one makes his way down the road. So you're going to spend $200 a weekend. You're going to sleep in the back seat of your car, and you're going to sell about 100 pictures a weekend. Now, what that means is, if I'm doing a rodeo this weekend, will I have pictures from this weekend the next weekend? Will I have pictures available?
Yeah, absolutely. My
And
pictures were done when I got home from the rodeo. I would stop downtown and put my pictures in a special bags that I had, and I would drop them off downtown around midnight or 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever time I breezed through there, and they'd be ready Monday afternoon, and I'd pick them up Monday afternoon, and by Monday night late, I would have gone through all of them, had them numbered already, and had them in sleeves.
okay,
So
you were getting them as slides?
yeah,
Okay. So you the next weekend you would take these slides in the sleeves to the rodeo.
yep.
And how would if you say, "Hey Doug, I've got some pictures of you," I'd be able to see enough on the slide to go, "Yes, I want that."
Yeah, well, I had a little eyepiece you could look at. A lot
Okay.
of people didn't like
Oh.
looking at them like that,
Yeah.
and I would tell them if it was a good picture or not.
Okay.
If it
And
was a little fuzzy, I'd tell them, but they'd look at it. So they had to make up their own mind. I never pressured anybody into buying anything.
yeah.
But at the end of the day, I probably made about 500 back.
Oh, you did. So
Yeah,
about $5 a picture you're selling them for.
actually $6. But
Six
if you bought
dollars.
more than one, they'd be 5.
Okay. I like that. 6 for a single and 5 for multiple. And it didn't matter if it was I want these 5 different pictures. Now I got them for $5 a shot.
Yeah.
Now, you would then go back, get the slides turned into pictures. You would mail them off. What would you do?
Yeah, I'd mail them COD,
Okay.
or a lot of times I'd bring them back to the next. I'd hang on to them for a week, and if anybody came by, I'd have the pictures right there for them. Because sending them COD costs money too.
You bet. You bet.
Yeah.
So you were doing okay. You were doing okay, making enough to get down the road and have a little money in your pocket at the end of the year?
Yep.
Okay, good. And what were you doing for work at this time?
I drove trucks.
You did semis?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cross country?
Over the road.
Over the road? Okay.
Yep.
And how were you able to work your schedule so you
Well,
just...
I had a good boss. I could take off. And, if I needed a Friday off, I'd tell him and see, sure.
Mhm.
So it worked out. It just worked out really good.
Well, that's wonderful. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. And these pictures are absolutely great. And just to make sure I'm perfectly clear, these pictures are available to be saved. You are giving these away, Tom.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we appreciate that and all your hard work and everything going in with the numbering code. We get a sense of the number of rodeos you have done. So one of the places that I discovered you was on the IRA project that Tim Sparks has put together.
Yeah.
You've been sharing a lot of pictures there. Tell us a little bit about getting involved with the IRA project.
Well, I got a call from an old friend of mine, Marty Martins, and he used to be the editor of Rodeo News, and he asked me, he said, he got in touch with me through somebody, I don't know, I hadn't talked to him for years, but he said there's this guy, Tim Sparks, he's putting together this thing, the IRA project. He said, you ought to look into it.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, sure. So I went on there, and right away I put up a couple of pictures. And then I can't remember, I think Tim called me. And he had already used one of my pictures,
Oh, wow.
that group shot from the finals that he has on his IRA project page.
Okay.
And I got to talking to him. And I said, yeah, I'll put pictures up. And he said, fine. But he's done real good. He came along at the right time because there was a time when I wanted to throw these pictures away.
Really?
And my better half said, don't you dare throw them away. If anything happens to you, I'll take care of them.
Yeah.
She doesn't like that I give them away.
Right. No, and I appreciate that. I totally understand that. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been putting up some reels using your pictures after you and I spoke.
Yeah.
And I've been putting up some reels and putting up some videos. So on our Facebook page, Beyond the Chutes, you can go see the reels. You can go see the videos. I put captions in. I'm learning how to do some of this stuff at my age, which is trying to learn new tricks,
Yeah.
But gotten really, really, really good response. So in a 30-second video, there's about 5 or 6 pictures that we put up. So finding it's a good way to get these pictures out into the world. So yeah,
I'm still selling pictures though.
you are.
There are cowboys that want blow-ups.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I will sell them, but they're expensive.
Okay. And okay, perfect. And for our listeners, if they find one that they like, maybe Bobby Del Vecchio was looking at this picture that was taken of him. Tell me what's expensive for our listeners. Tell me what you're charging.
Well, right now I'm charging between $75 and $100 for a picture, but they're 16 by 20s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, these are big pictures. Okay. All right. We're going to talk
So if they
about
want
this.
one, they can call me
Okay.
and I'll blow one up, but it's going to be between 75 and 100.
And the best way to get a hold of you is on Facebook.
Go right through my Facebook page.
Instant message
Messaging.
you. You bet.
Yeah, so the message.
All right, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. So a couple more things I want to talk about if we can. You were in the
Okay.
arena a long time, Tom. A
Yeah.
long time. You had some arena wrecks, I hear.
Yeah, a couple.
Couple. Tell me about any one of them that
The,
stands out, or
the
both.
first one it was horses both times,
Okay.
and I was at a Cox rodeo. So I don't know. It was an IRA rodeo, I think. It was in Illinois, but the horse came out and did his thing, and then he ran off. He ran all the way around the arena, and when he got to the other side coming back, he came across and started running towards me.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, well, he's going to stop, but he didn't. He kept running and running.
Really?
So now I'm backing up. Before you know it, it's right on top of me. I went left, he went left. I went right, he went right, and boom.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Knocked me right on my butt.
Any serious injuries from it? Knock you out?
No, I
Any?
didn't.
No?
I didn't. I was lucky I didn't get any injury.
Okay.
But I was sore.
I'll bet so.
And then the second one was at a Blue Ribbon Rodeo. Was put on by Calzavera. And same thing, horse run over me.
Yeah.
In the corner by the chutes.
Oh, wow.
He came out and did his thing, and then came around and ran me over.
Okay. Okay.
I think he was just pissed off looking to run somebody over.
Yeah. And no close calls with bulls or anything like that?
Well, I had a couple close calls, but the other time I got hurt at the finals, and I can't remember which one it was, but we were shooting team roping. And I shouldn't have been on the right side of the arena.
Oh, I see.
I should have been on the other side, but you couldn't get good shots from there. But anyways, the header caught him and started bringing him around. Now the heelers got him, which I thought when he missed him. Now, of course, the cap is swinging, And I tried to get up on the fence, and the calf crashed into the fence and gave me a bum ankle. I had to get crutches, and I was on crutches for the rest of the finals. And I had to shoot the rest of the finals in the stands. And that was one of the years that they hired me to come in and shoot it,
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
I can't remember which one it was.
Was that early in the finals or in other words?
Yeah. That was at the finals, yeah.
Yeah. Was it early in the weekend or do you remember? Was it later?
About 2 or 3 days into it, I think.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
Yeah. So, but nothing.
Those ankle sprains they're tough.
They can be tough. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. And then a couple more questions here. Our listeners love traveling stories, and I know you did a bunch of roadies. I mean, my goodness, you traveled all over eastern U.S., right? And maybe all out of Chicago at the time.
Yeah.
So any traveling stories that come to mind? Any one that kind of stands out?
Yeah, we were in Cincinnati, me and my gal and my boy, and we left to go home. And we stopped at a truck stop, and I can't remember what I stopped for. I stopped for something, but me and my boy went inside. She was sleeping in the back, and we came out, got in the truck, and we took off. We're about 40, 50 miles down the road. And I don't know, I told him to go back there or something. And he said, "Where's Bev?" I said, "I don't know." Isn't she back there?
Yeah.
Right away, I thought to myself, I've heard so many of these stories, guys getting left on the side of the road,
Yeah.
and that's what happened to you back at the truck stop. So
Oh, wow.
that was about an hour and 15-minute round trip.
Oh, my goodness.
And there she was. When I pulled in, they went inside, and there she was,
okay.
sitting in the restaurant drinking coffee.
Okay. Knew you were coming back. She had faith.
She didn't know. She was hoping.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't have left her there, but I'm glad I found out when I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I could have got all the way home and realized it.
Cuz
And back then, there were no cell phones, you know.
Yeah. So Cincinnati to Chicago, what is that? About 7 hours,
300,
8?
about
Yeah.
300 miles.
About 300 miles. Well, thank goodness you discovered it pretty early in the trip.
Yeah.
Oh my. Oh my.
Yeah, I was only about 40 minutes down the road,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stories like that. Another friend of mine got left
Yeah.
out on the road like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Lots of stories like that. You know, we had Dale Yerrigan on here earlier this year, and he told a story about leaving his horses at a gas station.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. But I don't think it would have the same energy as leaving one's girlfriend at the truck stop. I think this would be a little more charged, if it just feels like.
Yeah.
So when did you stop shooting? When did you stop? Did you stop cold turkey, Tom?
Yeah, pretty much.
You did.
I just got tired of it. I wasn't really making a lot of money.
Yeah.
And, you know, Beverly was watching my boy. My boy was from my first marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And he was watching my boy and my dog. And he said, listen, if I'm going to be alone, I don't have to watch somebody's boy and his dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
So either quit rodeoing or quit trucking, one or the other.
Yeah.
Because I'd be gone all week, and then I'd go to a rodeo. You know?
Sure. And
so I said, well, I was making good money trucking.
Yeah.
So I decided that the rodeo was the only thing I needed to quit. I'm sorry I did in a way.
Yeah.
But it was just, I was gone all the time, you know.
Yeah. You bet.
Yeah, it's tough.
And the road is hard. I mean, that's just absolutely a lot of folks, you know, as talented as they are, as you are, they say that's enough. You know, the road is hard.
Yeah.
And especially, you know, sleep in the back seat of your car. I mean, that's not always.
Yeah, there were a couple other reasons too, but we won't get into that.
Yeah.
But mainly it was the money, you know.
Understood.
So but then we went sailing.
Say again?
We went sailing.
You went sailing?
Yeah, we got a boat.
Okay.
We managed to get a boat, 35-foot wooden sloop.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, we sailed all around Lake Michigan.
All around Lake Michigan. Okay. And what year? So that would have been after you were done rodeoing.
That was probably about, wasn't too long afterwards. We were about beginning of 83 to about 92.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, like, you'd stay out overnight and anchor in coves and that sort of thing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
And I see pictures on your Facebook page. Are you still sailing, Tom?
No. The kid I was partners with bought the boat off the owner. We leased it, but the kid I was partners with bought the boat off the owner and took it down to the Keys. He's still down there somewhere.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, is there anything we haven't covered, Tom?
Well, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think that's about it.
Well, I've got one final question.
Okay.
If you had to pick one picture that really, really represents you, represents the sport of rodeo, represents your personality, and just say, this is the one, which one would it be?
God. You know, I think that picture that's on the IRA project of the black and white picture, that group from the IPRA, I think that's my favorite picture.
Okay. And why does that one stand out to you?
I don't know. It's just a good looking picture of a bunch of guys, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is a great picture.
Yeah, yeah.
So if I, and this is for our listeners as well, if I were to instant message you and say that I want a copy of that picture to put on my wall here in our studio, that can be done, Tom?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get that worked out, because I absolutely want that up on the wall here.
All right.
All right. Well, Tom, we say thank you for a great conversation. You bet. Really enjoy it. Do you want to give a shout out to anybody while you're on here?
Hey, just thanks for being there. Let me do my thing, you know.
Yeah.
I love all them cowboys and cowgirls. I loved all of them. They were all my heroes. To this day, I talk to them. Talking to them is a great thrill for me.
Good.
I like all of them, and I've talked to a lot of them too.
Perfect. Absolutely. So if you're in the mood for a conversation, instant message Mr. Thomas Wodrich on of course his Facebook page, Tom Woods, and tell him you'd like to talk. You'd like to catch up.
Absolutely.
Do take a look at those pictures. There are so many pictures out there, and as he said, have you posted half of them up yet, Tom?
I might have posted maybe half of the ones that I already have downloaded.
All right.
I used to post one at a time, but that gets time consuming. Now I'm posting 4 at a time.
Okay. It's a lot of work. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Tom. Well, I'm going to say good day to you, and thank you for being on the show.
Thank you, Doug. For sure appreciate it.
And we hope that you enjoyed this episode of our podcast with Thomas Wodrich, a.k.a. Tom Woods. If you do, please share it with your friends. To make your listening easier, you can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Search for Beyond the Chutes and follow us. Like us, give us comments, let us hear from you. We love getting them, and it helps us determine where we're going to go with our podcast. A reminder, check out our Beyond the Chutes Facebook page and click follow. Do like whatever you want to do, and do leave comments there as well. And we'd like to say thank you to Parasite Systems for their support with our podcast. Parasite System is a push-button parasitic diagnostic system for pasture animals, your horses, cattle, goats, sheep, and chickens, and now for your companion animals with their new all-in-one device, your dogs and your cats. You can find them at parasitesystems.com, and we have a coupon for your mail-in testing of your horses and your cattle. It is BTC023 to save 50% off your test kits, and they will email you the results when you mail it in. This is Beyond the Chutes with
Tom Wodrich, a.k.a. Tom Woods.
Until next time, this is Doug Simcox. Thank you for listening.